China and South Africa, who have now unified together and launched an alternative to the Federal Reserve. Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing. And that went live as of July 15th. So this is a huge game changer. And this was an article that came out, I believe, in May. Yep, May 30th is when that one was published. And then here was a very important article on one of these major websites that talks about the cabal. The BRICS are morphing into an anti-dollar alliance. Now, I want to give you another disclosure that most people never talk about. Why do we act like corporate media still matters? This is going to blow your mind. If you haven't actually seen this or heard this, first of all, this shouldn't come as a surprise. A Gallup poll declared that public confidence in news on television is at an all-time low. Surprise, surprise. Only 18% of Americans in the Gallup poll said that they had a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in news on TV. Only 18%, folks. Now check this out. There is a demographic of people who actually have disposable income to spend. That's the people who actually matter the most to the advertisers, and that's why the advertisers would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to put their ads on a television network, right? They want to sell products, ostensibly. But listen to this. How many people do you think are watching Fox who are younger than 55 years old? How many people do you think are watching Fox younger than 50? You don't have to say it out loud, but just get a number in your head. How many do you think? 3 million? 5 million? Well, they say Fox is so important, so politically relevant, da, da, da. How many people are actually watching? Get this. Only 177,000 people between 25 to 54 are actually watching Fox. And then everybody else is up in the senior citizen range, which I guess there's a lot of people that just took offense, right? 55, fuck you. We'll just say that the seasoned viewers, okay? We'll keep it neutral. Now, that still only adds up to 200,000 and change, okay? So it's not a whole lot more. Or no, that's not true. It adds up to about 1 million. So there's like another 800,000 or so. But here's the thing. In the demographics that matter, MSNBC is only being watched by 103, and CNN is only being watched by 99,000 people. And yet the media is playing the Punch and Judy show between, left-right media. The war between left and right. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's even watching. They don't care. How many swear words is that now? That's like, I think I got one more. I can do 5 before I start to look really bad. So here's where you see that, right here in this article. Now this is another very controversial thing. This came out on InfoWars. The dreaded ISIS group that has just invaded Iraq, which now we're being told, oh, well, we got to bomb them, was created by the CIA and the US military. You can Google that up if you don't believe me. Read it up. It's not something we're going to go into, but here's the point. There's some very, very dark stuff going on that must be cleansed. The military-industrial complex, on one level, is being run by people who are Luciferians. And the alliance, the good guys, know that the only way we can stop these folks is by exposing the truth. And the truth hurts. The truth is akin to, if you throw up, you'll feel better. So I'm going to give you something really nasty. On June 2nd, and I believe the alliance was behind this, it was revealed that a mass grave of 800 babies were found at an orphanage. Now, what they left out, which others have reported in alternative media, is the way that the babies' bodies actually, the condition that they were in. But here's where it appeared on Daily Mail. They were in a septic tank. like somebody was flushing it all down the toilet, containing the skeletons of 800 babies at the site of an Irish home for unwedded mothers. The children's home was run by nuns. This is Catholic nuns now, so we're back to the Roman government again. Between 1925 and 61, the children were malnourished. They died of TB, pneumonia, measles, and the relative of one missing child has filed a complaint with the local police. So this is this bright and cheerful looking building. And it was thanks to this brave woman, and she excavated this septic tank. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun to do. And so what's going on is that this was the creepiest picture I could find. These nuns look very ghostly. Yikes. Here's the problem. Skeletons normally are intact. These skeletons are not intact. These skeletons have been chopped up, beheaded, all kinds of stuff. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because this is going to become mainstream. We're going to find out that people have been doing this. They've been doing these rituals, and when they're done, they just stash away the bodies somewhere. This is one example where it was found. You're going to hear a lot more about this coming up. They're building up to this. It's going to be very ugly. The whole planet is going to be shocked as we learn this. Kevin Annett is the guy that revealed that the babies had been brutalized. But then there's also good stuff. On the same day that that came out, June 13th, we heard from the Alliance that there are oceans underneath the Earth's crust. And there's 3 times more ocean water down there than there is on the surface. What does that leave room for? That leaves room for hollow cavities inside the Earth with oceans and land. Like the idea, not Flight 370. Maybe that's where it went, the hollow Earth. But this is where these underground cities exist. They have oceans down there. And I've had insiders telling me this for years, and boom, here it shows up. Now this is also very, very exciting. On June 23rd, this was the magic day, somebody flipped the switch on disclosure on June 23rd, about 22nd, 23rd. 3 different stories all pop out at the same time. They're getting us ready. Titan is the only other satellite in our solar system that is openly acknowledged to have rivers, to have lakes, and to have seas. Now, they are technically liquid hydrocarbons, but what if we find sea creatures? Now, this is what it's being called right now. This is the preliminary baby step towards disclosure. They're calling it the Magic Island. Now, this is the before image. And notice that right below the word image, you see a black spot. There's just nothing there. But you notice that little peninsula. Check out the after image. You see something just popped up there? Let's go back again just so you can, now that you've seen it, let's go back. If it'll cooperate. Hold on. There we go. There's before, and there's after. Now, what if, and it says this in the article, that NASA has many other photos like this. What if it turns out that there's a very, very large sea monster that we find on Titan, or multiple sea monsters? When I was telling you about life forming out of that water, I'm telling you about a science that has yet to be announced in the mainstream, but has all the proof that we need. So there's one group of people that's doing a lot of really nasty stuff on Earth. There's another group that's trying to get the truth out because it will free us from this unbelievable satanic cabal that has been ruining the economy of the planet to the point where they're hoping for this mass civil breakdown. Well, to heck with you guys. The Alliance is stepping up, and this is why you're seeing this. And on the same day that these before and after photos appeared, we see a study that comes out revealing that life is growing everywhere in the cosmos, just like I've been telling you. This was the article that talks about it. It shows up the very same day as that mysterious magic island, as they called it, which is obviously could be life. They talk about all kinds of weird life that they call extremophile bacteria. They say that life can grow in cyanide. Life can grow inside volcanoes. Life can grow inside a nuclear reactor. Life can grow in the deepest part underneath the Earth's crust. They're basically preparing you for the idea that life is just made all over the cosmos. It shows up everywhere. Just like I was saying, this is mainstream media now coming out of NASA on the same day as the so-called Magic Island. And then also on the very same day, again in the Daily Mail, a group of Australian scientists come out with a discovery saying that time travel could be a reality, that they were able to simulate quantum light particles interacting with the past in the present, therefore changing the past from the present through this weird little loop of quantum physics. Then, 3 days after that, we find out that habitable planets are right next door to us. This is all part of a programmed disclosure now. I'm not saying this is happening randomly. I'm saying there is a group here that is disclosing, and they're getting us up to the point where we're going to hear everything. This is another Daily Mail article. Alien exoplanet just a stone's throw from Earth and even has similar seasons. It's only 16 light years away. And if we figured out some type of wormhole travel, that's a very short journey. And guess what? They already have it. So the math has already been done. We know how to do it. It's just not being disclosed. So this is Gliese 832c, an artist's rendition of what they think it would look like. And here's the Earth next to it. And then in that same article, out comes this recent diagram that they cooked up for you, and they're showing it to you again. Now, the very next day after this happens, the war advances again, and you probably haven't heard this. So for those 177,000 people who are still watching Fox, you might be a little bit upset about this one. Have you heard about this? No. The FBI has seized email from Fox. And here's the proof in the Daily News, New York Daily News. 80,000 emails have been seized from Fox in the phone hacking scandal. What's this building up to? It's probably building up to some very ugly stuff about how they're lying to us and manipulating us, and that it's all entertainment. Because remember in a court justice hearing that Fox could not be called news, it had to be called news entertainment, just like World Wrestling Entertainment, because they're not really slamming each other that hard. Fox is news entertainment. That's what those 50,000 emails are going to show, folks. So if you're one of those 177,000 who still buy into this left-right media thing, forget about it. They control both sides. That's no big surprise. On the very same day, the Alliance comes forward with another interesting burst of disclosure, which is that robots are now being invested in by Google, and believe me, Google's got a lot of money, and they see where this is going. So they're calling it the Google bot. Well, that's the preliminary name given to it by the Daily Mail. But there was a Robo-Olympics sponsored by DARPA, and this robot, built by Japan, came out as #1, and Google has now bought it and taken it out of the competition so they can make it into a commercial product. Oh my God is right. Here's the Google bot, or the first prototype. It can climb, it can roll, it can jump, it can save you from a burning building, it could go into a nuclear reactor, it could do all kinds of stuff. And I have been told by insiders, and this is one of the pieces of disclosure that I want to get to you now, that they already are planning that within 25 years, our whole society is going to be moneyless, and most of the things that we need will be run by AI and robotics. And you're seeing the first step right now. You don't need to be afraid of artificial intelligence. The whole idea that AI could take over the planet is dumb. Why? Because as long as we have robots that can work the same way as the ones that are AI, even if they decide to go rogue, which I doubt they would, we can fight them back just like any other war. There's no reason to think that those robots are going to be the only ones that can do anything nasty. We have plenty of nasty stuff that doesn't get controlled by AI. So that was another mind control thing that they did. We find out from talking to insiders that AI is widely used by extraterrestrials. In fact, they have these silver one-piece jumpsuits that you see. That's an AI. That's a robot. It's actually smart clothing, and it senses your body. If somebody shoots you with a gun, it's going to tighten up in the area that the bullet is coming towards you and repel the bullet. You're going to get a bruise, but it would actually stop the bullet. It will actually clean your body so you don't need to take a shower. Hippies rejoice.